Hey, what's up? It's your boy Sloth. Welcome back to the channel. And if anybody's in the chat, let me know if you can hear me. I did want to make sure I got started on time tonight. Again, just let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. All right, I want to welcome everybody to the Father's Day special. Tonight we're going to be discussing several topics, starting with Cuba Gooding Jr. and his recent arrest. Then we're going to move into Sarah Huckabee and her recent resignation and discuss that a little bit. Then we're going to move into the Memphis riots that happened this week. With CNN and their Trump obsession, there's a lot of news that goes under the radar. And this happened to be one of those stories. So I definitely want to make sure we talk about that. And talk about the memory of, okay, Darla Red, welcome to the chat. River Ben said there's a bit of an echo. I'll see if I can fix that here. And then finally, we're going to talk about the family that was terrorized by those police in Phoenix when they had guns pulled on over the little girl stealing it all. I thought that was a bit sad, and I do have some updates on that story. All right. And again, welcome to the regulators. River Ben, Darla Red, they are a couple of people who I really do care about from another channel by the name of Spook TV 7. So any given day of the week around 9 p.m., that's where I usually am, unless I'm broadcasting myself, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. All right, let's see if we can fix that echo here. All right. Mic check 1 2. Is there still an echo, guys? Just a little bit. Mic check 1 2. Echo getting a little bit better, or about the same. All right, we'll go ahead and continue. All right, welcome to Fortnite Gaming. Thanks for stopping by. And by the way, Fortnite, I do want to play Fortnite on live. So the first night I play, I hope I get to play with you. So that would be awesome. All right, moving into tonight's stories. First, I'm going to play the news video.
Now we're going to turn to
the based on the. I'm going to play the news article on the Cuba Gooding Jr. allegations. Then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about it.
Now we're going to turn to the latest on actor Cuba Gooding Jr., who's facing charges this morning, accused of groping a woman in a New York bar. We're now seeing new surveillance video from that night. ABC's Paula Ferris is here with more. Good morning, Paula.
Good morning, Michael. It happened Sunday night at a New York City bar. Gooding's lawyer claims that this woman pursued, stalked, and then invaded his personal space at the club. As for Gooding, he's turned himself in, saying that he trusts the system.
He's the Oscar-winning actor known for his roles in Jerry Maguire and The People vs. O.J. Simpson.
Everybody thinks I'm guilty.
But this morning, Cuba Gooding Jr. finding himself in a very different role, turning himself into police on Thursday after a 29-year-old woman accused him of groping her at a bar over the weekend. TMZ obtained the surveillance video allegedly showing the accuser sitting down next to Gooding and his girlfriend, Claudine De Niro. The video appears to show Gooding putting his hand on her thigh. A few seconds later, his hand appearing to move up towards her breast. Gooding is then seen pulling her hands to his lips. Their hands appear to be touching, and that's when another man walks over and speaks to the group. And about 30 minutes later, this TMZ video shows Gooding and his girlfriend downstairs at the bar when the accuser approaches a man near the couple. The actor then stumbles over those two before quickly leaving. Gooding pleading not guilty in a Manhattan court to a misdemeanor charge of forcible touching and third-degree sex abuse. Overnight, Gooding's attorney speaking exclusively to ABC News.
When I viewed the video and spoke to actual eyewitnesses, it was very clear and apparent that the lady who made these false charges was stalking Mr. Gooding. This lady continued to invade his private space until ultimately somebody, not Cuba, but somebody else, had to tell her to please excuse herself.
Now, Gooding's lawyer says that these charges carry up to a year in prison, 3 years probation, and a $1,000 fine, but he is confident that Gooding will be exonerated, and Gooding maintains his innocence. He believes it's all going to work out, guys.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more.
All right, so I got to hear from the choir on this one. Now, part of me says, you know, these are overblown charges, and he didn't do anything that would be worth a year in jail or being charged a lot of money for. All I've seen on the video was him reaching over, grabbing a leg. And he felt comfortable enough to do it with his girlfriend sitting right there, which tells me that's not the first time that's happened. But the Negro in me is like, man, come on. You were already married to a white woman that shitted on you. You just played O.J. Simpson on TV. And now you're getting arrested for messing with another white woman. I see a pattern here, y'all, but I want to hear from the family. All right. Darling Red in the chat says, I think it's sad. I watched it on the news. He had no business doing it. Now she's going to get paid, I'm sure. That's what I'm talking about. I believe she's going to get paid. She's going to have a story to tell as the Me Too movement. She's a white woman and he's a black man. And they'll probably go back in his past, find more evidence of him grabbing, groping on white women, and use that against him. Up to this point, though, white woman or not, Cuba Gooding Jr. has been one of the most clean-cut brothers in Hollywood. Even though I haven't seen him act in anything recently, his body of work alone, he'll probably have to never work again, you know, if he manages his money. But if he keeps having these encounters with these skanky white women, he's not going to have that either. He's not going to have anything to pass on to his kids. All right, in the chat, let's see. Riverbend says, I don't think about it like that, but you're right. So how do you think about it, Riverbend? Yes, they will bankrupt him. Well, all the brothers in Hollywood get their calling card at some point. You know, Kevin Hart got his when they called him out over the Oscars. Let's see. I don't know. There's a list of brothers that I can think that when Hollywood comes after you, they get you. You know, they got Wesley over his taxes. You know, if you had said a homophobic slur 20 years ago in a joke, they're coming for you. Hey, Carla, welcome to the chat. Carla is another one of my loves. And one of my most loyal followers, and I'm glad to have her here. In the chat, she says, he better leave them alone. I thought he had the same accusations against him a few years ago. Denise says, I agree. Slide, now these days you just can't do any touching. People sue you quickly. Darling Red says, I hate to watch people get caught up. Riverbend says, sorry, laying down. Sit up, so I don't have to. Horrific typos. We understand what you're saying, love. Lay back and enjoy your night. Yeah, they're just coming from another chat, and I do appreciate them staying up on a Sunday night late to chop it up with us. Jennifer Lindsay, welcome to the chat. So glad to have you here. Like I said, I have my regulators family and a few of my OGs, so feels really nice to have you guys here to share your opinion. Because like I say, one part of me doesn't feel sorry for Cuba at all, but the brother in me wants to defend him from these white women, these Kardashian types that are trying to take him down. But like I said, he felt comfortable enough. She was probably going to be one of their threesome victims, and that was her interview. They were sitting down trying to see where her mind was and if she was down, and I guess she was just one of the ones that wasn't down. Either that or she saw a payday coming. But what do you guys think? All right. What we're going to do is I want everybody in the chat to get to know each other. Like I say, Carla is cool as a fan. I think she'll fit right in with the regulator family. She's good people. And Carla, I did want to talk to you about something, but I'll leave that offline about some of the things going on in these YouTube streets. We'll talk about it. But for now, I'm going to take a very brief music break, and then when I come back, we're going to briefly touch on Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I'll be right back.
Sword and steel.
Welcome to a better way of life. Heating and ministry. That means
Let's go, Lord.
Look at him working.
We work hard.
Darning his socks at night when there's nobody there.
Yo, 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 yo. Come on. Yeah, Lord.
Oh, there's songs.
We gonna know, baby. Ha, ha, ha. Let's go. Let's go. On a lone, die lone song I sing. All my broken dreams done made me a king. Ain't rock Jews, but I'm Lord of the Rings. Excuse my pain. It makes me special. Price in the pain. New life in the game. Can't forget you. Grand Dragon hating rap bastard won't test you. Never surrender. Colon alone. You holding your own in the winter. Holding the throne. Emotionally scorned. You remember. Go it alone or bury my bones. I'm a winner. Excuse my pain. Medicine. Marching. So when I transform, it's revenge of the fallen. So fuck who you know and whoever you bring.
Nobody can
Sing.
lonely people.
Seals in the air.
Where do they all come from now?
Sword and steel.
All the lonely people.
Seals in the air.
Why do they all belong?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Excuse my pain. Stomping these crews, I'm watching my wounds in the rain. Far from confused, I conquer these dudes, I remain. A lonely man, left him for dead. They measured my head for the Jews. Crown him a fool, he honored the rules. What it do? Fuck it, I heal. Got a sword and shield, never lose. Excuse my pain. You keep your love, it's tainted with AIDS. Ain't playing your games, how I judge. A man by his word, he stand by his firm in his blood. He beg no friends. They punish the real, but reward the weaker men. I love it to feel. Fuck the world, keep it then. Flow insane. Don't know my pain. Why you speaking then? Excuse my pain. It's every day. They scared cause they prepared this shit in my way. Can't budge us motherfuckers when you talk, I say. Hey. Forward. Welcome to a better way of life.
Welcome to a better way of life. Where souls soar and shield. Lord, have mercy.
All right, back to tonight's topics. And again, welcome to everybody that was able to make it tonight. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We have Fortnite Gaming, Darling Red, Dope Action Stallone. Thanks for stopping by. And feel free to give your opinions in the chat. We got Denise Butler, Darling Red. We got Carla H. Riverman out. Let's see who else we got in here. We got Jennifer Lindsay. Yeah, we got a good group tonight, and awesome feedback as well. Fortnite Gaming says in the chat, I just don't understand how most black men don't understand that white women are taught to go after wealthy black men to keep the money in the white community. You think after so many years they start falling for the okie doke, but it just seems like they don't stop. It's 2019, and at the end of every draft class, you always got some Becky hanging off a brother. Before they even get the money good, they're already lined up. They're already set up. And Jennifer brought up a great point in the chat earlier during the music break. She said that pretty men are going to have to send out smoke signals to let a woman know they're interested. And that's true, because a man doesn't want to be pegged a freak or a weirdo just for saying hello, opening a door, being a gentleman, or asking for a phone number. Especially in the corporate world, oh my God, or in schools, really left liberal schools, you know, where the women need a safe space, because just hearing the word rape makes them have a mental shutdown. You know, they're teaching that crap to our kids too. Let's see in the chat. Yeah, we're going to move on to Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Said, why does it always look like she smelled a fact face? Yeah, and Carla said they definitely hijacked the Me Too movement. And I feel the same way. And as a man, it's good to hear women out there that still have some sense, that didn't just fall for this agenda and start dogging out men, because these movies that are out now are setting a bad precedence. I just watched X-Men Dark Phoenix last week, and one of the white girls had to tell the big white man in the movie, we should just call them X-Women. Then I saw the Terminator trailer, and I saw this white thing that I thought was a dude that happened to be a woman, that of course is fighting the biggest, baddest Terminator there ever was. So the biggest, baddest Terminator it ever was is going to get whooped on by this dyke looking girl. Then there was Captain Marvel, And like I say, the list just goes on, and it sets a bad precedent. But now we're talking about, now that we are talking about white women anyway, we're talking about Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She stood on that podium and lied to the American people to the point where she just stopped talking to them altogether, especially when she got caught up in the Mueller investigation. But to be fair and to be factual, well, as factual as they can be, I'm going to play the news article first, and then we're going to get everybody's opinion.
We do begin with that unexpected departure at the White House today. President Trump revealing late today that his longtime press secretary, Sarah Sanders, who has defended him for so long, will be stepping down. Her duties often went beyond what we see from a press secretary by the president's side just days ago at Buckingham Palace for dinner with the Queen. But she has also faced criticism, the Mueller report for one, questioning her credibility. So why leave? Why now? ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl leading us off.
An unwavering defender of the president, beloved by his supporters, despised by his enemies, Sarah Sanders is moving on.
She's done an incredible job. We've been through a lot together, and she's tough, but she's good.
It's one of the greatest jobs I could ever have. I've loved every minute, even the hard minutes.
She served Trump for 3.5 tumultuous years, recently coming under intense criticism for what she said at a White House briefing shortly after the president fired FBI Director James Comey.
The rank and file of the FBI had lost confidence in their director.
What gives you such confidence that rank and file within the Bureau lost faith in the FBI Director?
Look, we've heard from countless members of the FBI that say very different things.
Special counsel Robert Mueller singled out that comment in his final report, directly raising questions about her credibility. Sanders told this office that her reference to hearing from countless members of the FBI was a slip of the tongue, Mueller wrote. She also recalled that her statement in a separate press interview that rank-and-file FBI agents had lost confidence in Comey was a comment she made in the heat of the moment that was not founded on anything. Sanders' briefings were often heated and combative as she clashed with the White House press corps. Eventually, she stopped doing them, the last briefing more than 3 months ago. But as she took a lower public profile, she became one of the president's closest and most important advisors. She is one of the few White House aides who traveled with the president on every single foreign trip he has made, attending his meetings with Kim Jong-un, sitting next to Prince Charles at a dinner with the president just last week in London.
And John Karl with us live tonight from the White House. And John, Sarah Sanders has 3 small children, as we know. She says she's leaving for personal reasons and moving back to Arkansas. We also point out tonight that there's news about another one of the president's top advisors, is Counselor Kellyanne Conway.
A federal watchdog, David, has found that Kellyanne Conway violated or accused her of violating federal law by engaging in political activity on the job. This group has issued a report saying that she should be fired. The White House says that is just not going to happen, and they insist that Kellyanne Conway has done absolutely nothing wrong.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel.
All right, so that news article gave both sides of the story. And like I say, one of my favorite channels, the True Royal Family, this is one of those stories she would call juicy. They talk about how sweet it is. And yeah, I just wanted to gloat a little bit, because I could not stand this woman. This crooked-eyed fucking lying ass. There are no words to describe just how I feel about Sarah Huckabee, or any woman that would stand there and defend a liar. They'd stand there and lie to our face from that podium that used to be respectful. That's the most powerful office in the world. And when they just stand there and lie to you and look you right in the eye, well, she can't look you in the eyes. She can look you in the eye, one of your eyes. I'm glad she's gone, but my only fear is they're going to replace her with somebody who's even worse. So we'll just have to see what the outcome is. Going back to the chat, definitely want to welcome Kiki for peace, for coming by the chat. Beloved Princess, and I think we had a couple more people drop in. Palmon is a new person to the chat. Welcome, glad to see you. And save up any comments or questions for the call-in show, which will be happening soon as well. The call-in number will be 605-313-5654, and I'll also post the PIN number that's needed for the extension after the second half of the show. All right, now speaking of the second half of the show, we're going to get into some deeper topics. We're going to talk about those Memphis riots that CNN didn't want to talk about this weekend, and talk about Brandon Weber, the reason for the Memphis riots, and those 20 or 30 police that got hurt when they tried to quell the neighborhood after that boy died in his yard. You know, and I'm also going to talk about the black family that had the gun pulled on them for the guns pulled on them by the police for the Barbie doll incident. All right, so again, I want everybody in the chat to express themselves. Again, there are no wrong answers. And if I say something you don't like or disagree with, please feel free to let me know in the chat. Like I say, this isn't that kind of channel. I don't feel like I know everything or have all the answers, or that my opinion is the end all be all. Everybody, every single person here has an opinion, and I want you to feel free to express it. All right, Riverbend said, scary when people can stand in front of an entire press conference and lie. Reminds me of that woman that lied on Emmett Till. Exactly. And when you've got 30% of the country that are some of the most uneducated people in the world that stand by her every word and believe everything she says, that's really scary too. Darling Red Ashford needs to help me so I don't make any mistakes on my vote. Yeah, because here locally, anybody who's here in the 706 area code, Southwest Georgia, we have a politician by the name of Sanford Bishop, black man, been in office for years. And he supports the NRA, the National Rifle Association. The very crackers that are out there that want guns in the hands of every man, woman, and child in America, knowing that they outnumber us. And if they outnumber us, they outgun us. And if they can outgun us, they can, quote, put us in our place. They want those stand your ground laws that serve white people and white people only, while black men that are legally carrying firearms and have licenses and registered weapons are still getting their heads blown off. So, you know, like I say, on this channel, we can't address more than one issue at a time. Even though I'm not an activist, as they say, I can still use my platform to discuss the big things. So, all right. Again, we're going to take another very brief music break. And then when I come back, we're going to get really deep, so stick around.
Yeah, live shit. New York Warrior, hate your face. NJ Warrior, hate your face. CT Warrior, hate your face. You hate your face. I hate your face. Boston Warrior, hate your face. Providence Warrior, hate your face. Cleveland Warrior, hate your face. You hate your face. I hate your face. DC Warrior, hate your face. VA Warrior, hate your face. My Cackalack Warrior, hate your face. You hate your face. I hate your face. We dance like Indians. The ritual will spin a crew, bring them in. Hold this for you, twist it through, let them live with the pain of a million men. Then tell me what it is. Sunshine or rain, never beg a friend. Liberated, niggas hate it, that's my medicine. Fuck friendly, Benz Jeeps with the leather trim. I'm 10 deep, stack chips, king me moving in. Jalopies, Costi, Christine with the tin. All across boards, all aboard, y'all spit a gem. Leave you cockeyed, lopside, boy feel the win. Push your balls in your stomach, forfeit and run it. Last days, blast trays, y'all niggas done it. speak no, see no, hear no. Evil, leave holes like vehicles with a dent in them. Feminine, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy, cry like babies when I'm hemming them. Vocally, broke them up like Jodeci. Fine cuts like kosher meats. Dead them like coastal beef. Forget about it. I spit my verses grinning while the earth is spinning with perverted women. Her like kittens, turn over easy like German engines. Paint face, dog. 8 bars, shine like quasars. Sink like gay stars. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Craft this for bastards, fuck with us. Declare ruckus, we spare chuckers with blowguns. Mighty like Joe Young, white beat get so dumb. Explosion from Brooklyn to Leningrad, holding a pen and pad. Rocking a 5 deadly venom mask. Hazardous, carry this rhyme to your tombstone. Imagine this damage shit while like a group home got war paint. From cheekbones to earlobes, make a crowd of fools, shut it down and move. There go, if the flesh is weak, then rest in peace, die slow. Lord, last one standing, king of survival. King of survival, king of survival. My NO warrior, my Texas warrior, ATL warrior, you hate your face, I hate your face. My Chi-Town warrior, my Michigan warrior, Milwaukee warrior, you hate your face, I hate your face. Arizona warrior, my LA warrior, my Oregon warrior, you hate your face, I hate your face. My East Coast warrior, my dirty South warrior, my West Coast warrior, you hate your face, I hate your face. M.O.E. hate your face. Cypress Hill, hate your face. Gangstar, hate your face, I hate your face, I hate your face. Christ.
All right, y'all. Now we're gonna get into something that this is one of those that got under my skin this week. But the bright side of it was when I saw my people stand together. So let's watch the news article first, and we're gonna talk about it.
Needed. Carter killing us, man, for nothing. We ain't never had this on our hood. Never in our life I've been on here.
Well, actually, you know, when everything happened, I actually picked it up instantly because people just instantly started going live on Facebook with it. And so, you know, me, you know, being somewhat of what I claim myself sometime a political activist, I wanted to go, you know, see what was going on in my community. Just officers involved shooting, period. It's too many of our young black brothers being killed, and as of right now, nobody can't tell us nothing, and it's a serious situation. I've never seen this many MPD police on any crime scene in Memphis, Tennessee ever in my life. I've been here 44 years, and I know something ain't right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Be on TV?
Well, they used to seeing police, but not in this numerous of amount. And bad news travel fast, and this don't look like good news right here.
All right, so like that community activist said, nothing good is going to come out of that. Now, one thing I want to do is honor Brandon Weber, put a face and a name to the actual incident. I don't think anybody really knew who Brandon Weber was, and when you pull up news articles about him, it's obvious the young man wasn't a saint. But if you know the economic conditions in and around Memphis and the hand that young black men have been dealt in that area, you understand there's a whole lot of Brandon Webers, and this could have happened to any one of them. But I don't want to talk about the things that he was suspected of or the different things that they put out about that young man. Matter of fact, I invite anybody to go out there and look at the information and make your own opinion, because like I say, all the evidence hasn't been put out yet, but I don't expect Memphis PD to put out the real information about what they knew about this young man or what actually happened. But again, you know, this is bittersweet, and the thing that made me prouder than anything, was seeing my people stand together in that neighborhood. When the police came with the tear gas, they threw the tear gas back at them. They started throwing rocks at the police, and I believe there were at least 20, 25 police that were injured. And I don't feel sorry for one, especially the black ones that went out there to march like stormtroopers against their own people. To go out there and hurt and throw tear gas where they know there's women and children right there in the middle of a neighborhood. Knowing these people are going to be upset when you got the whole entire police force. And I guess there were no crimes in Memphis that night, because every single police squad car they could get, ambulance, God forbid anybody else in the city had a heart attack or got hurt, because they were all in that one neighborhood, in that one place, just to put their thumbs down on the people that lived there. But in my opinion, that's what we need to start doing. We need to start standing up for ourselves. When they come at us like stormtroopers, the only thing we can do is defend ourselves. That's why I encourage black families out there, you know, grow your own food, you know, start buying land, and if you don't do anything else, arm yourself, because there are laws that protect you. And if you feel like you're being unlawfully arrested, you actually have the right to protect yourself. Now, I'm not encouraging you to jump bad on a law officer. You know, I'm not telling you not to respect them, but I'll tell them and anybody else listening that thin blue line is bullshit. Anybody who tells me that a blue life is more important than a black life, they can kiss my ass. Blue lives didn't matter to them at all until black lives mattered to me. So, with me having an 18-year-old son out here in this cold, cruel world, I don't want to see him get shot in the back by some overhyped bastard who turns my 6-foot-tall, 160-pound son into a 6'8", 300-pound monster with super strength just because he looked him in the eye, maybe stared at him too long. So, you know, those of us that are out here fighting this war every day, you want to be smart, but we're tired of getting hurt. And I don't want to wait on a lawsuit. You know, I don't want to have to sue police force for millions and have my kids live in terror for the rest of their lives. Can't live safe in the city that I sue, because they will always have a vendetta against me, or good luck getting 911 service. So it's up to us, and I know I got a lot of mothers and aunties that want to protect these boys. If you want to do anything for them, teach them to be prepared, and let them spend some time at the range. Let them spend some time in the karate dojo, or learning BJJ, or learning jiu-jitsu. I promise you it'll help them in the long run, and it might just save their life. Darlin Red mentioned not only black on black crime, because there's really no such thing. where there's mostly white people, they kill white people. Where there's a bunch of Mexicans, they kill each other. So people kill who they're around. For them to make it a black on black thing is bullshit. All right, again, I'm glad everybody can express themselves in the chat tonight. And like I say, feel free and save up your thoughts for the call in, and I hope we do get some folks to call in. All right. Somebody mentioned that we're in the last days, and it feels that way. But we still want to be happy. We still have the right to happiness. We still have the right to freedom. We should still have the right to walk down our street without the police shining a light in our face and having us get on the pavement and treating us like dogs. Like Jennifer Lindsay said in the chat, they get mad when black people stand together. Meanwhile, they want us to respect them because they in blue. And that's true. That old apple pie in the sky bullshit. That American patriotism, flag worship bullshit. I served with guys like that. I did 10 years in the National Guard. And I served with white boys that served with no other reason than they hated Muslims after 9/11. Didn't know anything about geopolitical structure. Didn't know anything about the military-industrial complex. Didn't know why oil is why it's the price it is. They didn't understand any of that. All they knew was what the news told them about Osama bin Laden, and they thought they were going to go over there and be fucking heroes. All right, we're going to take another very brief break, and then when we come back, we're going to discuss the last topic of the night, which was the family that was terrorized by Blue ISIS over a 99-cent doll. You stick around, be right back.
You think this is game? No shit. It's your funeral.
It's trouble in paradise. Love you and lose my life. Trust you to dagger my cup, BD, carry mine. Slugs for the sacrifice. Rush to the afterlife. Cuddled and laugh for Christ. Fuck you, the masses fight. Double the cash and crime. Double the ass to grind. Hustle and blast your nine in the jungle mastermind. For you to rob and steal. Almighty dollar bill. Drama kill your lifetime. To the common thrills. Untrustworthy. Their guns bust dirty. Slumped up early. 1:30. Slum jury. Pledge allegiance to games and deceitful rules. Front page feature news. Sunday seek the truth. Can I get a witness? Planted out of riches. Mansions, 20-inch rims. Dances with the fishnets. Answers in the scriptures. Live and let die. Handsome, give them kisses. Angels sing high. The last night.
You think this is a game? The last night. 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 Have mercy!
2001, perfect world now, plastic surgery, slow jabs and dirty dreams, cold cast emergency, no class and courtesy, nomads and murder schemes, control labs and work the beat, holograms and hurt the street, so glad to burn the heat, cold black eternities, go back for first degree, don't stack attorney's fees, host trapped at birth to see, flow back to burgundy, chrome blasted never sweet, raw mastered heavenly, V's custom leather seats, squeeze guns for jealousy, leaned up and medically, beamed up to better peace, free from the devil's reach, beepers and ghetto streets, sweepers and desert eats, re-ups and felonies, prenups and selfish queens, deluxe percentage scene, G's touch incredibly, deceivers that sell a dream, weak dogs let it be, live and let die, free from the hell in me, angels sing high.
The last night, 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 the last night.
pray to God in the devil's world. Last night, tables turned, make them learn. Last night, ha, loners waiting to die. Last night, we hold our faith in the skies.
God is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? God is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?
All right, everybody. Now we're going to talk about continuing this theme of blue ISIS, police terrorists in our communities. We're going to talk about that family who will forever be traumatized by these amped up steroid rage devils who pulled guns on them and pulled them over because their 4-year-old child accidentally picked up a doll and walked out of Dollar Tree. Here's the news article.
New developments today as Phoenix police look into an abuse of force allegation involving a father, a pregnant mom, and 2 small children. The family in this video now speaking out and showing us new footage leading up to the encounter. ABC 15's Jamie Warren has their side of the story.
They say while in the parking lot getting ready to drop their kids off at the babysitters, an officer who didn't identify himself approached them and opened their car door.
Get shot! Get your hands off!
Drayvon Ames is the father in the driver's seat of the car in this video.
A police officer, or we didn't know who he was, a guy, random guy, comes up to the car, opened the door, banging on the window with a gun, says he's going to shoot us in our face, telling us to get out of the car. We don't know who he is. He hasn't alerted us that we're being pulled over, anything.
Ames says here you can see his hands are up.
If you look in the video pretty good, I'm snatched out the car and I just fly back, and that's when he grabbed me out the car. My hands were up the whole time.
The officer handcuffs him. Once up against the police car, that officer sweeps his knees. Meantime, another officer points a gun at the car, which has Aisha Harper, who is 5 months pregnant, and her 2 kids inside.
It was just a scary situation. I never thought I'd be in. Traumatizing for me and my daughter.
Once they get out of the car, Harper says this officer tried to grab her 1-year-old daughter. She says he ended up pulling her arm out of the socket. Phoenix police say the family's car matched the description of a shoplifting suspect. The family says their 4-year-old daughter took a doll from the dollar store without them knowing. They say they believe it was their race that led officers to react the way they did.
He just seemed like he was trigger happy. He wanted to shoot someone that day. He just seemed like he was ready to kill someone. He seemed like bloodthirsty to kill.
We did sit down with the Phoenix police spokesperson on Tuesday. He said that they take all allegations of misconduct very seriously, and they're now conducting an internal investigation. He also said that they're aware of this new video that just came out, but because the family plans on taking legal action, they're unable to comment any further. Reporting in Phoenix, Jamie Warren, ABC 15 Arizona.
An investigation.
Let me tell y'all a problem I got with this redaction bullshit. They blur out the parts of the video that are unfavorable to the police. The whole thing is unfucking favorable. But you notice they did the same thing in the previous video as well. In the Memphis video, a lot of what happened to the young man ended up being redacted and pictures being fogged out, and they did the same thing as well with the Cuba Gooding Jr. thing now. If you go on the internet, you will not find a picture of his accuser. Everything now is blurred out, where when TMZ dropped it, you can see faces. So now she's a victim, and until the charges are dropped on Cuba Gooding Jr., now her face is blurred out. So white people are slick with that bullshit. And I see the same thing happening here. Now all of a sudden, They have to investigate, and there's new evidence. But there is a follow-up for this story, and I'm going to play it now.
The family at the center of this video wants $10 million from the city of Phoenix. Today, they filed a notice of claim, which is a precursor to a lawsuit. They allege false arrest, emotional distress, and violation of civil rights. Officers pulled them over after a witness said the family's child stole a doll from a store. The family says officers turned physical even though they were not resisting.
After this, me and my daughters will never be the same anymore or feel the same about the police department, because it seems like every police is out for blood or something, because we really wasn't doing anything.
Phoenix police tell us they cannot talk about pending litigation.
Of course they can't. Of course they can't talk about litigation. They can't talk about anything. Cowards never can. Just like a certain other coward I think most of us know here in this chat. Can't let the truth come out. All right, now the phone lines are now open. Matter of fact, let me get dialed in. The number to call is 605-313-5654. If you'd like to discuss anything that we discussed tonight in the chat, or if you just want to chop it up with your boy, we're more than happy to do that with you. Just give me 1 second to get dialed into the number here. And just checking back in with the chat. I find it strange that when white people want to remember their race as victims, that it's not honored. Denise says he kind of was laughing and saying he was going to give them a hard time in so many words. That's what I'm saying. These violent, bloodthirsty, renegade police, I just don't have the patience for them. And as a black man, I can't trust them. Just getting dialed into the chat line.
Please enter your PIN followed by the pound or hash. If you do not know your PIN, please enter pound or hash.
Sorry for the silence, guys. Just getting logged into my.
Press star now. Otherwise, please wait and you will be joined into the conference.
Pardon if you hear that background music. That's just my conference call program. I'm just getting that set up.
Please enter your access code followed by the pound or hash sign. If you are the host, press star now. Otherwise, please enter your PIN followed by the pound or hash. Thank you. There is one host in this conference.
All right. I am currently hosting the call-in line. If anyone would like to dial in, the number is 605-313-5654. And I'm going to put that up here in the chat since I don't have any of my moderators in tonight. If anybody would like to volunteer to moderate tonight, I'd be more than happy to give out a blue wrench to anybody here in the chat this evening that's willing and able. Like I say, it's a pretty easy going chat, so you don't really have to do much of anything, but if you like those duties, I have an opening. Thank you, darling. Red, that number 605-313-5654. And the extension is 351734. Like I say, we can talk about the topics of this evening. You can just ask me a question, or if you'd like to discuss a certain extortionist or ask me any questions about them, you can certainly do that. Yeah, who's gonna hate on Slide tonight? If somebody wants to call in and give me an earful, I'm expecting Essie Berry to give me a call at some point, because I guess she has an axe to grind. And anybody who doesn't know who Essie Berry is, she's the sixth wife of Fred Rerun Berry, God rest his soul. She wanted to team up with one of Steve Harvey's ex-wives so that she could try to sell a bogus reality show to Hollywood. And when that didn't work out, she started taking advantage of people on her channel, doing everything from wearing a neck brace one week to a back brace the next. And here's how I got tied up in that mess. I didn't want to talk about Essie Berry, but we're going to talk about Essie Berry tonight before I close out this chat. She reached out to me with a copy of Steve Harvey's full divorce decree. I mean, names, addresses, you name it. It had every car he owned and every piece of land he owned in Texas. I guess she thought I was supposed to take this information and run with it, or become an ally of hers and help her fight this fight against Steve Harvey. Now, of course, I'm not big on Steve Harvey, but for anybody who's been grinding the axe for 10 years now against a man who hasn't done anything to them and calls themselves an activist, I just don't buy into it. Like I said, I didn't ask for this fight. She came to me. I didn't come to her. But one of the best things that did come out of dealing with Essie Berry was the fact that there was a group of really good people who had joined together to call her on her bullshit. And that group of people would be known as the regulators. Truth TV, The Truth, Spook TV 7. I ended up running across a community of people who love the truth and don't mind standing up against a liar and an extortionist, not only for their own personal reasons, but just for the greater good. They try to warn people to not be taken advantage of by an extortionist or somebody who is just out there to take advantage of people. So, again, making lemons out of lemonade, I actually got connected to an awesome community of people, tight-knit, who all love and care for each other very much, and they made me feel welcome, and I really appreciate the time and effort that they put into coming over to the channel tonight. I know it's late, especially on the East Coast. It's already after 12:30 a.m., and they're still sticking with me, and that shows you how loyal they are, and I really appreciate them from the bottom of my heart. So shout out to Spook, shout out to Truth, Riverbend, Darling Red, Kiki, Jennifer, Denise, all the regulators, and everybody loosely related to the regulators, beloved, Princess, and even for the non-regulators, people who don't know Essie Berry and aren't really privy to that information. I want to thank you for stopping by too. Dope Action, really, thank you for coming. You guys make the channel what it is. So unless somebody calls in on the call-in line, we'll go ahead and get ready to wrap up tonight's chat. We ran for almost an hour even. Again, shout out to Fortnite Gaming for coming by, Dope Action, all the regulators, and special shout out to Carla H. Now, out of respect for a fellow YouTuber, I won't give her a blue wrench, because we already had that discussion. But if I were to give anybody one, I would definitely hand one out to Carla. She's out here in these YouTube streets deep, so don't be surprised where you might see her. And I also believe she might pop up in the regulators chat, at some point as well. So again, I want to thank everybody for your support. I want to thank you for stopping by. God bless you and your families. And want to catch you again maybe next week about the same time. Like I said, I don't want to cross Spook's time. I know Spook usually comes on about 9 p.m. Eastern, so you can expect me to either come on an hour or two before or an hour or two after the regulators chat. So that way, if you guys want to stop in, you can. With that being said, peace out. Appreciate everything. I will stay on the line for a few minutes extra to chop it up with you in the chat. But as far as me talking, I'm out. Peace, and I'll talk to you next time.